Hello, Leading Edge family and friends. Sensei Rob here. It's Wednesday, February 15th. You wouldn't know it's February by looking outside. I'm actually sitting outside with my dogs right now. It's almost 60 degrees out and it is just absolutely beautiful. It feels like spring. Maybe Puxatawny Phil was wrong after all, and maybe we're gonna get this springtime coming sooner than later. I want to drop in and just touch base with you guys for a minute. I know, hold on, let me adjust the camera here for a second. There you go. I know a few of you guys have reached out to make sure I'm okay after the shocking Super Bowl loss from Sunday. It's tough. It's I thought after a couple days I'd be feeling a little better about it, but it seems like as more time passes, the more articles I read, the more questions I have, the more what ifs that come up, and this one's a tough one to swallow. Everybody knows that I bleed green. I'm repping my Philly Barstool hat here, my Kelly Green Leading Edge shirt in honor of the birds. It's a tough one. The sun still came up. It'll come up again tomorrow, hopefully, as long as no spy blimps fly over and do anything weird. But we're here. So anyway, that's not the topic of today's conversation. Today I wanted to take a couple minutes and chat with you. The beautiful weather as I went to the gym today reminded me that spring sports are right around the corner. And I wanted to touch on that for a little bit, just a minute. Anybody that knows me knows I'm a huge sports fan. And even more so, a huge youth sports fan. I love youth sports. There's nothing that brings me more joy than watching my kids play and excel at their sports. I've coached football, I've coached swimming. I love coaching lacrosse. And I'm about to embark on my, what I think sadly will be my last spring season of coaching youth sports. I may volunteer some time next year just because I miss it so much and I'm an addict. But I want to talk about spring sports, youth sports, the tough decisions parents have to make, the overuse and overwork in youth sports, the demanding schedule of it. A lot of different topics, and in some ways, call myself actually a hypocrite on certain topics regarding youth sports. For years, I was adamant against children playing a sport outside of its primary season until they were 13 or 14 years old and they were in high school when they had to specialize. I was adamant. I was on record saying it. I was beating the drum. You can't do this. You can't do this. But as a parent, we want our children to be as competitive as possible. We want them to have the competitive edge. We want them to do everything they can possibly do to be able to compete with their peers. So holding them back and limiting them to one season and realizing that the better kids aren't doing that really put them at a disadvantage. So my tune has kind of changed in that. Not kind of, it has changed a lot. Within reason, though. So let's talk about that. At the school, I hear more and more parents tell me how their children are specializing in their sports at 13, at 10, at 7 years old. They're specializing, they're picking their sports so early. Now, a lot of people say to me, Sensei Rob, but your son Bailey only plays lacrosse. Well, no, he doesn't only play lacrosse. He played football growing up. He stopped after COVID, never got back into it. He does play lacrosse year-round, but he also does his martial art training. And martial art training, especially at Leading Edge Martial Arts, makes him a multifaceted athlete. We do stand-up, we do ground, we do everything in between, developing the body completely. College coaches are on record stating that they want multi-sport athletes, not single sport specialists, for a number of reasons. One, it develops the body more completely. Two, it limits the wear out, the overuse aspects of doing a repetitive singular motion only and wearing out the joints and the ligaments and the tendons and causing injuries. A lot of overuse injuries like elbow issues and shoulder issues and things that come from playing one sport year round all the time. I won't get into what sports are best and what sports aren't best. I just encourage you guys not to specialize in a single sport at any given time. Now, anybody that knows me also knows I am a crazy sports dad. I am very heavily involved. I coach, I study the game, I give Bailey a large training regimen that he has to do regularly. He's not doing it obviously right now as he recovers from his knee surgery, but he'll be back at it. That said, I want to make sure that we gauge our expectations for our children. And I was doing a little research, and I found that while I think they said 52% of children aged 7 to 12 play some youth sport. Okay, I thought that number would be higher, knowing that I think it's so important that kids are out there and active. And I don't know if they have martial arts lumped into that or not, but I think it's very important that kids are active. Obviously, in today's society, get them off the video games, get them off the screen time, and have them be active. When you get to high school, it's about 56% of the high school students participate in some varsity sport or extracurricular activity like a sport, and so forth. But now let's look going into college, and this is where the numbers drop. And this is where, even for me, Deshi Lucas, Bailey's older brother, was an avid lacrosse player. He played football, he played lacrosse. Obviously, he's a black belt. I was so excited for him when he started looking into colleges, the potential and the possibility of playing college lacrosse. And, ultimately, I'm very happy for him. He picked college. He picked the University of West Virginia for the school and not for a sport. And no, he's not playing lacrosse right now. He's excelling in school. He's doing a great job. He's having a lot of fun. But that brings me to the numbers. As parents, we're like, oh, our kid's going to go D1, our kid's going to do this, our kid's going to do that. And I'm just as guilty of thinking about that far in the future, even with Bailey being 5 years away from college. I think about that stuff. But 7% of high school students end up playing college lacrosse. 7%. That's it, 7%. So your number dropped from 56% play high school sports to 7% play a college sport. That's it. 7% of the college student body plays sports. And then we all get hung up on this D1, D2, D3 thing. It's less than 2% play Division I sports, less than 2%. So we have to gauge our expectations. What are we doing? What do we want them to do? Could our children play D1? Sure. Do we want to support them if that's their goals? Absolutely. And I have to constantly remind myself, I'm going to play this video back for myself, trust me. We want to support them with that, but we also have to make sure that we gauge expectations. And then let's take it a step farther. Out of the 2% that play Division I, less than 2% of that 2% play any pro sports. So what are we saying? Most kids graduate college by the time they're 23, 24 years old. I think it might be even younger, probably 22, 23 years old. After 22 years of life, sports are done. Sports are done. For most of us, sports are done after 18 years of life. But after 22 years of life, sports are done. It's a memory. And that's it. It's a memory. Do we get some lifelong benefits? Yes, we've made friends. We've learned the importance of competition. We've learned the benefits of hard work and dedication. But it's a memory. Now, I want to take this a step further and change the tune a little bit. I want to talk about martial art training. This time of year, I'm always faced with parents coming to me and saying, okay, Sensei, we need to take off for spring sports. We're too busy. Johnny's playing soccer 5 days a week, and he's got games on Saturdays. And okay, and Johnny's 11, and he's got games and practices, and he's doing this, and he has no time for martial arts. Why is this a concern of mine? Well, I chose my profession not because I fell into it, but because I believe in it. I believe in the lifelong benefits of martial art training. Yes, it's fun. Yes, it's good for fitness. Yes, it teaches us self-defense. Yes, it has so many benefits, but it goes beyond that. Martial arts is a life skill. It's a life skill. When these sports have fizzled out after 18 years or 22 years if we go college, or if you're that elite, less than 1% of people that can play professional sports, you're still done by the time you're 28, 29, 30 years old if you're lucky. But the benefits that we get from our martial art training, the discipline, the confidence, the self-defense, the non-quitting spirit, these are life skills that nobody in today's society should be without. Nobody should grow up without these. So I encourage everybody, when you're sitting down and you're figuring out your spring schedules and you're signing up for your spring sports, and Johnny's saying, oh, it's nice outside, I don't want to go to class. And, we want to encourage you to make martial arts a staple in your children's lives, a staple that helps them in everything else they do. The discipline, the focus helps them in school, helps them in sports. The confidence helps them become leaders, helps them lead on the field, helps them lead in the classroom, helps them lead in life, okay? The self-defense, that goes without saying. Today is a scary, scary world we're living in. It is scary out there. Not putting a child out there without knowing how to defend themselves is like telling them, don't worry about buckling up your seatbelt in the car, because we're not going to get in an accident. We're not going to get in an accident. You don't need that. That's the same thing. It's gambling. And finally, one of the ones that hits closest to my heart is the non-quitting spirit. The non-quitting spirit. The ability to never give up. Regardless if things become tough, they become challenging, they become overwhelming, or they're simply not new and exciting. Our after high school, after college, life gets monotonous. We go into college and it's hard work, and we're going to class every day, and we're doing the same stuff, and we're putting our nose to the grindstone. We get a job, it's a grindstone. How many mornings do you wake up and you just feel like it's Groundhog Day? It's over and over and over. That non-quitting spirit keeps you going. And when those tough times come through, and they will come, the non-quitting spirit teaches you never to give up. I'll always look back at those COVID years as a year that could have put the nail in the coffin of leading edge martial arts. But for a number of reasons, friends, support, family, but most of all, the non-quitting spirit, leading edge is still here today. We didn't give up. I didn't give up. We're still here today when many small businesses are not. So, let's summarize, because I probably lost half of you guys already. Children should be active. Children should be playing sports. Be careful with specializing too early. Make sure they're doing more than one activity. Even if they do play a sport year-round, when club season comes in, they should also be focusing on an in-season sport or another activity like their martial art training, which continues to develop them more roundly. Don't let that become by the wayside. Gauge your expectations. Is my child going to play varsity sports? Is he or she going to start? Is he or she going to really play in college? That was a hard one for me. I coached Lucas. I helped train him. I coached him. I mentored him. I spent tons of money on it, all with the expectations and hopes of him playing college sports. And guess what? He's not playing lacrosse in college, and he's happy. He's happy and he's loving school. And that's the important thing. But he will be the first to tell you that his martial arts training has helped him tremendously. So much so that he still pursues it down there at West Virginia. He comes back, he can't wait to hit the mat when he comes home. His martial arts, his discipline has kept him out of trouble at school. It's part of him. So again, gauge your expectations. Will my child play in college? It's okay if they don't. Will they play in the pros? Probably not, and that's okay too. But the things that they gain in their martial art training are life skills that should be a part of every child's life, and I believe every young adult's life, or every adult for that matter. It should be a staple in their lives. It should be a staple in your life. The benefits are immense, and they don't fade, and they don't go away. So guys, thanks for taking the time to listen to me yammer on. I'm going to enjoy a little bit more of this beautiful day before I go back into class. My dogs are bugging me to play. Have a great day, and I'll see you on the mat. Thanks for being Lima Strong. Oos.